The space between the tears we cry is the laughter.
Well, I feel fortunate that we have been building that for several years in our staff. The idea that we had a lot of work to do, and I said that all the time. When we got our results back and found out we were in the 14th percentile, we were not expecting that. We were working very hard and intentionally, and we didn't get the result that we felt like our work warranted. And I said, the thing that we can take from this is there's a lot of work to be done, and we're the people to do it. So I think when you have to dig in hard like that and deep, you have to release your insecurities, and you have to understand at that point we were all insecure. I was too. You know, I didn't even imagine that we were going to be in the 14th percentile. That was not what I thought our result would be from our work the previous year. We were working very hard, but figuring out where to put our effort and to be focused and allow people to say we are all growing in our work on standards. So no one's assuming that anyone is the expert. We are all growing. And every teacher building that in each other, the teaming aspect of supporting one another, planning together, sharing thoughts about students in I-team discussions. I mean, the idea of building that culture is because there's just always work to be done. And if we ever think we're there in education, we're in big trouble. Because the work is always going to be there. We're always going to have places to take students and teachers. And for teachers to embrace the idea that we're about hard work. And no matter where we are going to be working hard for our students, their families, and the community, and making a difference, because it is about cause data. It's not about the outcome. I mean, I love talking about our growth, but it's about backing off that growth and looking again at that space between one piece of feedback and another piece of feedback, and saying what happened in this space between, and really thinking about what teachers did, what students did, how did we engage families, what professional development did we provide, and then what pieces of those maybe didn't contribute, and getting rid of those and continuing to grow our arsenal of great strategies for great results. But building the efficacy of teachers is no small feat, and we're continuing to work on it like every other school. But I think that idea that we're not looking for perfection, and I go back to national board thinking when you're getting your national board certification. The thing that really relieved me in that process when I was going through it was that they're not looking for a perfect teacher. They're looking for a growing teacher. So they're not looking for right answers. They're looking for reflective answers. And that's sort of that mentality that I'm working on with our teachers, is that, hey, we're all working hard, and we're all learning from one another and from research and from our reading and from what we bring to the table. But we all bring something different, and we can share it with one another, and no one's there. No one's there. So we're always growing one another. It's a constant work to build that community of learners as teachers, as professionals, but it's so worthwhile because it builds that feeling of, I am doing this work. And that space between is filled with faces and lessons and students and small successes, because that space between one result and another is filled with a great amount of work, but it's little things that every person contributed. And yes, they were assessed in 3, 4, and 5, but those teachers K to 2 have impacted that in their daily work, and they know that. But building that feeling that it's about my work, I impacted student success with what I did in my classroom, or on my weekend planning, or at my professional development, or with my team and data team. To be able to draw those connections and create that spider web within that space between those two feedback pieces that we received is powerful for us, because we know where to put our effort now, and we know where we need to continue to grow. And people are on board with that. They want to be a learning school, and they enjoy that feeling of getting better at their craft every day, but never really getting there.
The space between the tears we cry